Steve and Jill here.
Hello.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Stephen Jack Butella.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, broadcasting from gorgeous, sunny Southern California.
Today, Jill and I talk about the value of meeting in person other like-kind land investors.
Maybe because that's happening at the end of this week.
I was just thinking there's a bunch of stuff that will never go away with the internet. Like nobody can argue that the internet hasn't changed just about everything, but there's a few things I just don't think will ever change.
Like human interaction. Yeah. You know what that makes me think of? I got to say real quick. I remember that there was a movie you had me watch where
I forced Jill to watch movies sometimes.
It was that is true. But this was kind of an interesting movie. It was good. But remember, it was the movie where the guy fell in love with his artificial intelligence assistant, basically.
Basically Siri.
What's it? I can't remember the name of the movie. I'm sure everybody listening right now is yelling it out in the car.
Yeah.
And like, okay, you know what the movie I'm talking about. And it was so interesting that maybe you can take... I mean, it was funny he fell in love with it, but he couldn't hug her, and they tried that, and that didn't work. That was kind of a weird part in the movie, but we all know what we're talking about.
Yeah. We'll talk about it in a minute.
Okay.
Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free.
Mike asks, just curious, if anyone out there purchases option contracts for infill lots and then sells their option position to a builder/buyer, any thoughts are welcome.
So this is a really good question, and it's a very advanced question. And this business of option selling or assigning, some people make a whole business out of this. In fact, I'm in the process of recording Land Academy 2.0 infill lots, and I address this in great detail. One of the pivotal reasons that our business model works so well for us and for some of our members, most of our members, is that we pay cash for property. So we go to a seller and say, we will pay you $15,000, and you and I both know it's probably worth a little bit more, but for convenience, for you, we're going to write a $15,000 check for this infill lot, even though it's worth more. What do you say? And they say, heck yes, how fast can you do it? And we write the check and we own the property, and then we control it and decide what to do. For some people, that's not their thing. They want to just say, hey, I'll give you $25,000 for the same lot. It's going to take me some time to market it and to, find a person or a builder or just basically go out and market the deal. And so that's not our game. But there are people who, the good news is that you don't have to come up with any money. But
that's right.
We just prefer to do it the former way.
I know.
What do you think? Honestly, you've done way more options than I have. You have.
Have I really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's funny. Sometimes I'm not a fan because your heart's not in it. Is part of it. Yeah. It's a whole different mindset. When I own it and I paid cash for it, I need to flip it. I'm ready to flip it. I want to flip it. I want to sell it quickly and get out from under it. I'm excited and hot and motivated, and I'm going to make it happen quickly. If I'm like, it's like just something over here on the side that, I control the asset. Big deal. It's I'm not so motivated. I hate to keep using that word, but that's the reality.
It's a good question, and it's a sign that you're thinking out of the box, and it's good.
Right. I like that.
Today's topic: the value of meeting other like-kind investors. This is the meat of the show. So Jill and I kind of wrote this topic together because at the end of the week when this airs, we'll be hosting a live event, the first live event.
First ever big in-person training here in Los Angeles. I am so excited. It's going to be awesome. And I know because you and I put a thing on Facebook the other day that we just spent, hours. We have spent so much time into this, and we just spent another 3-hour chunk the other day tweaking the agenda even more for the event. And I know we're going to tweak it a little bit more, but so I don't want to step on your toes.
No,
okay.
Go ahead. Absolutely. I know you have a bunch of stuff written down.
The value, there's a couple of things that I jotted down about the value of meeting people in person. So it's like even just going to a little REI meetup or real estate investors meetup, a lot of people do that. I've seen groups have them monthly, weekly, all kinds of different variations, and I highly encourage that. It is so valuable. There's just, like you said, there's a lot you can get off the internet and watch and absorb, but there's times you just need to be face to face and talk to these people. And when you're face to face and you can ask questions and get immediate answers, there's just nothing, no comparison.
We're all humans.
Right.
Business air travel has never been higher in the history of the planet.
Definitely.
And online meetings have never been higher. So there's still huge value meeting somebody, shaking their hand, getting to know them. There's still this human feeling that you get like, yeah, I'd love to do business with this guy, that you just don't get online. And I don't think that's ever going to change.
I agree. And I think
I'm not plugging our live event at all. I'm just saying,
go to these. There's
a value.
Yeah, I'm saying do this. Yeah, meet up with other people in person, because especially too, you're going to share experiences. I know for our groups, we have multiple levels that are going to show up at each event, and the value of getting to share good experiences and bad experiences is going to help everyone learn faster. You're going to be ready for it. You're going to know. I think a lot of it is even our podcast. A lot of people listen to our podcast and they've said, oh my gosh, I was almost in that situation.
Yeah.
That question helped me. Whew, thank goodness. So it's kind of like that and even elevated.
I mean, I've said this many times over the years doing the show. Learning the real estate part of this, how to buy property and resell it, you can learn that in a weekend if you really sit down and you come to us or come to the environment where you're learning with a little bit of experience. It's the people part of it that really takes you to the moon. For instance, one of the things that's happened since we started Land Academy that I never intended on happening is people coming just throwing money at us. So because if you go back to the Cash Flow from Land program or Land Academy 1.0, I always have been my whole life adamant about spending my own money to create more equity, which kind of ties into the question we just answered. I'd rather buy a lot for $15,000 and sell it for $30,000 than option it for $25,000 with my own money.
Right.
So, but what ended up happening over the years with Land Academy now is people they want to get involved financially. They don't want to learn how to do this. They just want to give us a bunch of money. And so I fought it. Yeah. I fought it for a while, but now we do a bunch of partnerships. We have several equity partners who are, I'm confident saying, extremely happy with the returns that they're getting and the level of information they're getting from us and all of it.
Right. Exactly. Another value of meeting other like-kind investors, land investors, or any investors in a group setting is, how you remember when you're in sports and you played a team that was clearly better than you? Well, let me start with the opposite. First, you play a team that's clearly worse than you. You know what happens? You play down to them. All of a sudden, you're dropping the ball. You're making all the mistakes. Why? Because you're playing to that level. It just naturally happens. For some reason, it does. So, and the reverse is true. So imagine being in a room with really brilliant, smart people, and you're hearing their thought process and understanding. You're gonna raise up your game. You're gonna play up to them, and you're gonna start thinking like them, and then you're gonna walk away with that knowledge and experience. And that's my thing. I was calling it you play up. So I always encourage, if you're in these environments, whenever you go to a meetup or any kind of event, seek out those people and hang with them. Like we talked about this the other day at our event. We're going to all split up and let everybody go where they want to go to lunch. And Steven's like, they're all going to follow us. I'm like, I don't think everybody, well, let me say, I don't think everybody will, but I hope they do. No, I'm serious, because that would be the right thing to do. Even if you pick out somebody, there's going to be people in the room that are going to pick out someone and go, you know what? That guy is like me.
Yeah.
But he's like, man, he's a year ahead of me. I want to be that. So he should seek out that person and follow him around.
Right.
So that's good, because you'll play up to them. So.
Well said.
Thank you.
Yeah, I hope I'm not the smartest person there, and I fully plan on that happening. We have we have a lot to learn from our members, and we continually learn from our members in all different facets of this. So
Yeah.
they're coming up with stuff that
It's really
I
good.
couldn't even. It's amazing.
Awesome. And the last point I was going to say is meeting other investors in these in-person environments is inspiration. I think it's inspiration to get you to that level too. So you can now, like, someone walking in, I can walk in, Stephen, I can shake your hand, and I can know what's possible. I really see what's possible. You can really tell me, in person, hey, I was in your shoes too, and here's what I did. And 50 deals later, I now I could do this, and this. So for me, not at that level, say I'm a person that's new, I'm like, all right, I know it's possible now, and I can see you're a real person. Seriously, I can see you're a real person, and I know, you know what? Heck, if he did it, I can do it too.
I mean, Jill had the brilliant idea, and I do mean brilliant, to pay for some of our top paying members to be there to help some of the newer people.
Yeah.
So
it's true.
Thank you. I hope the people who are going to attend this event come with a bunch of questions. The first of which would be, how did you get past X? I'm having trouble with X.
Right.
How did you get past it?
And we have a bunch of us in the room there that did do it.
That already got past it.
Yeah, and we could all, and we're going to talk about that stuff. It's so good.
Well, you've done it again. You spent another 15 minutes with us listening to the Land Academy show. Join us next time where we discussed hands-on learning from pros and how it's priceless.
And we answer your questions posted on our online community, landinvestors.com. It is free.
You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
I'm excited.
I am too.
So are all our shows this week what's this week?
This week is...
What's podcast?
I don't know the exact name of it, but it has to do with...
Be there or be square.
Yeah, or meeting people in person.
I like mine better. Be there or be square.
It's Be There or Be Square week.
There we go. Share the fun by subscribing on iTunes and YouTube or wherever you are listening and watching. And while you're at it, please rate us there. We are Steve and Jill.
Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.